Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Long Road. Whether you rejoin us on the second part of a leg, where we came out of Verona through the night in the rain, out onto beautiful, glorious sunrise over the Brenner Pass. We're now in Innsbruck, making our onward journey north to Nuremberg. Still carrying chicken meat with a Volvo FH4. So we're just taking a 2-hour break here, and we're about to get back on the road and get started. Before we do, it might be worth just diving into the cab and showing you the vehicle, particularly now they're in the daylight. It's particularly plush, leather style on the steering wheel, and I like the feels of the cab in particular. See a lot of grey materials in other vehicles. This is certainly a lot lighter, and definitely adds to the experience. We see here all the texture and detailing. It's really gorgeous. So let's get the engine on and grab ourselves a cup of tea and have a quick look at the route before we get started. So we are now in Innsbruck. We've only got 2 cities left, and down to Munich, and then on to Nuremberg from here. We are going to go the scenic route, so we're going to take this mountain pass road with our 17-ton load around the edges of Munich and inwards to Nuremberg itself. So buckle in. I think we're going to be needing to use our engine brakes today to make best use of the vehicle. We have got that ready and set up to go, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we do pull in at a slight angle. We're going to come out here quite carefully. I don't believe there's much space to turn around as well, so. So these trucks actually have 2 reverse gears. That being said, I don't think we really need both. Ah, should go out this way, which I think will be a little easier. So these Austrian villages are tight, and we'll be squeezing through here for sure. And where are we on the map? Okay, we'll get ourselves pigeoned in. I think we need to turn left here. So let's show you what we do that. So we're clear of the edge on that side. Just. I'm not entirely sure we didn't scrape the hedge there ever so slightly, but hopefully a hedge will be more forgiving than a wall, so all being well, it's still fine. Vehicle over there behind us. Just going to pass through the centre of Innsbruck as it is modelled in the game. So one of the things that the HGV driver training teaches you, particularly in the UK, is to keep moving at all costs. Obviously with 17-ton load on the rear, where possible, it was a very good idea to keep moving and to make best use of the fuel economy. It's obviously not always entirely possible, So where possible, it's good to try and keep moving and to judge the situation accordingly in terms of traffic negotiation. I think it's so if you're just rejoining us here, haven't caught the previous episode, or do go back and have a watch of that. Absolutely amazing light that we saw in the morning. We did also just briefly discuss setup of the cab here, so we noticed I'm now using the speedometer, tachometer, and the onboard navigation of this particular vehicle, just to try and improve the view that you can see out the window. Just passing the station of Innsbruck here. Fellow training enthusiast. It's good to see what forms of transportation does into the game as well. It does add an additional element of realism, particularly when you put alongside a train line. So, certainly, he's got some rather booming music on it, so we may have heard of it. If the audio picked that up correctly, but certainly from here you can hear it. The things I do like about the Volvo FH4 is the clearness and the clarity of the dials. Everything is super crisp. The door, oil temperature, the AdBlue, fuel, total mileage, all of those things are very, very clear to see. I suspect I'm in the wrong lane here for me. Let him go. Back on our way into the Alps. It's worth saying that this is our very first time actually encountering twisty, windy Alpine roads. The added challenge is very different on an ascent to a descent, but the descent is to use those brakes correctly. So we'll be doing our best to try and use some of the engine braking capabilities of the vehicle, not just relying solely on the surface brakes themselves. First hand from driving, certainly as large as this in real life, but vehicles that their brakes can very easily overheat, and particularly when you've got a lot of weight in the vehicle as well, does make a big difference. So we'll be looking to do our best to use those brakes efficiently. Taking a slightly wide turn there as we come around. A bit of roadworks going on there on the right hand side, so we're going to pull out into the middle of the road here. Pneumatic drilling going on there. Just need to pin across. Thank you very much for waiting for me there. So for 20 horsepower diesel unit that we're in today is getting along. It's certainly crawling, as is appropriate really for the incline that we're on today. Some that temperature drop. Just wondering as well, we do have weather mods still enabled. So it'll be interesting to see if some of that weather changes as we get higher up into the pass and then down the other side. Mountain weather variability can be significant, even when on foot. So interesting to see how it's modeled today. Temperature certainly is dropping. Curious to know anyone who's watching today, what are your top tips for driving mountain roads in Euro Truck Simulator 2? Do you have a particular strategy or method for making best use of the gearing? Is it just a long haul up and down? Do you have tips and tricks that we use? I wonder. So we go down a couple of gears here, so we can make best use of the engine. Got that ideal band there between 1000 and 1500 RPM, but there's an element here of us needing to really use the full power band to get the vehicle going up this hill. Don't obviously want to stop on the hill and get stuck, particularly as it gets steep. We are just about 2 hours away from our destination. Indeed, it is actually 2 hours to Nuremberg from here, so it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be a tight run. Obviously, I don't want to speed too much through these villages. So we had this music running on our Verona run actually, at the end of episode 4. Guys are pretty tight there as well. So I'm not the biggest fan. Definitely distracts and does create sensitivity, which I think is right. But it's definitely something. So we'll make another descent now on the other side of the Alps quite soon. Drive as smooth as possible, set the service brakes back up again. So we're back up to 70 kilometers an hour now through this tunnel. I've never driven in the Alps before. Looking to take a trip to Switzerland, Austria, Northern Italy, France, just this general mountain region. Obviously, varies a lot from country to country in terms of fields, but I can't recommend it highly enough. It's absolutely incredible scenery wherever you go, and there really is no replacement. One of my favourite memories is up to Glacier 3000, I think it was, from, I want to say, the French side of Switzerland. It's amazing toboggan ride. We'll be down, quite literally down here on the lower levels where it's 20-25 degrees Celsius and it's 10 degrees or lower per minute with the cable car. KFC crispy fried chicken over there. Branding has worked with the Logos mod. So you may have noticed just there that we had a simulation of tiredness. Now, we've been driving on the road for some time. We do know that our break is coming up soon, and will be, of course, inevitable. We need to stop at some point soon. It would be good to see if we can get to our destination. We were going to end up with a late delivery if we don't get there in time. I've actually turned off the mandatory 9-hour break because that would have broken the entire run. So we haven't got that running. We will get tired and we will need to stop, and I believe it does create a fine or penalty if you exceed that. So just had our first warning at the time. There's the next one. This is the unpredictability of the road. You never quite know how to plan the brakes and the rest, really. So it does look like a storm is brewing at the moment, and weather is about to change. So to see the left-hand side over here on the right. Okay, maybe I'm getting tired. Isn't bad. Good comment. So, take that break. We'll just see if we can mandatory. Let's have a look and see. So we've got. Going to be running over, I think. It does look like we're going to be late for our first time on delivery, and there's not really much we can do about that. Looks like we're getting pretty tired, so we'll take a rest here and we'll pick things up in a second. Okay, so you rejoined us in the car, but it's now 5:15 in the evening. It does mean that we are late. I think this is again another practical tip of learning how to plan. Definitely came out of nowhere. You noticed that before we parked up there, we did get a speeding fine as well, as I was focused on the rest and other elements. And yes, we're now 3 hours 15 minutes and our designated time. To rest, of course, before we take in essentially some of the most challenging roads yet on the ride. That's quite hopefully. Very able to go particularly fast down these roads. Taking off the low end note of the FH4 there with the mod sounds. You get the sense of the vehicle. Let's pulled over that vehicle on the left there. It's going to crash. I'm going to sting pulled out as well. So again, those twisty turns weren't anywhere near as twisty as I was expecting them to be. Apologies for that. I was hoping that it would be slightly more dynamic roads. We yet to reach the full height of the Alpine passes, which we need to save for another day. It's interesting. So I'll leave you guys here as we get onto the motorway, and we'll catch you up as we are on our approach to Nuremberg itself, and face the full effects of the late delivery. Certainly important to be safe on the roads, but absolutely every day is a learning day. You never quite know how those brakes, how those stops are going to work, and certainly for us, I think that's an ambition to get that right. And the stops better. So again, we'll catch up in a moment to see you on the approach to Nuremberg. Well, you rejoin us. A rather interesting moment here. We have actually had an accident. With this vehicle over here. It's pulled to the side, and we have some damage on the vehicle as well. I think we were probably able to carry on, but it does seem as though we caused a little bit of an incident here. This vehicle was pulled out right in front of us actually as we were driving along, so we did have priority right away. And I think we're going to carry on, get the vehicle set up again to go, but it certainly wasn't expected at all. A bit of a hoo-ha going on here, I'm afraid. We're in 10th gear, cruising along quite smoothly. Got my hazards on whilst we pull out from this little section here. And he's on his merry way, it looks like, but as you can see, the yellow engine sign there, we do have some damage to the vehicle. Report that to the office as we arrive into Nuremberg. Certainly has been an eventful journey down, and I was not expecting that crash at all. Apologies for not capturing that moment, but bringing you back in now as we make our final approach to Nuremberg. You can see there's a warning light on the vehicle. These are certainly all the things that would make an awful lot of difference when it comes to owning our own vehicle as well. We just have to be that much more careful. And, should be careful anyway, of course, but in terms of Euro Truck Simulator, it makes a big difference in terms of the financial relate at that stage. It's a beautiful evening light now. It's about 2 minutes to 8 p.m. in the evening. The sun's just starting to come down. Got a full day of it. Early start this morning at 3 a.m. So Nuremberg is now firmly on the map. So we're heading in now to our final destination. Tiredness has been the theme of this episode today. It's to be able to quite escape that and spend a little bit of time researching into that and how it works and the best to manage a trip. And I think in my mind there's sort of an optimal way of doing that in terms of having a clear break point and rest on a longer haul trip. It's not quite how it's worked out today in terms of the drive. The sun's just coming down now. So catch up with that sun visor. It's not doing a great lot, to be honest. The light the sun's out right now as it just goes down behind those trees. It's had very, very good weather. This today's episode. If we can make it without further rest, given the resting we've done on the way. I reckon it's one of the things that's a little bit tricky to manage with the quick job. It's sort of, you can choose to rest immediately having started a quick job for 9 hours, but the lack of ability to transit between jobs does mean that it's harder to find the way to rest best on the journey, whether that's it would be hard to know, was that straight on or was that still right there? It seems like the road follows around the same way. It's a beautiful evening light again. We're certainly into picturesque heartland of Germany as well. Engine brakes. Into the corner lane here, safe to do so. Once again, I will catch you guys up as we just get into the heart of Nuremberg and walk up to the end of this journey. So we'll see you guys in a moment. Hey, you rejoin us. Final leg of our journey into Nuremberg. We've got a double atmospheric effect here where the sun coming down and also the game simulation of tiredness. Now, it's entirely reasonable given that we've been up since 3 o'clock in the morning. There's lots of yawning going on. But we didn't make our amount rested required over the break. Vehicle beacon there. That will be why. Because if you don't have your headlights on, you'll get an offence. So we've just picked up a headlight offence there on using our headlights. I have to confess I wasn't aware that we weren't using them. So you can see the difference now. This one. It's also that evening light. It's 10:15. Oh. Absolutely gorgeous sunset fly around in this distance there. About the driver, but it's certainly keeping me awake. Just put it to Nuremberg has discovered it's a welcome sight. A slightly perilous journey in the second leg. These things are all good experiences. We are in the wrong lane. Let's just check the car across in a second. Looks like we are approaching our final destination, which is great to see. Just before the last of that beautiful evening light goes. Hopefully the chicken meat is intact. Arrived on site at MK FW Water. So let's see what it wants at. Okay. It's tight there, so we need to just pull forward a bit so we should get the bend okay. A fairly busy site here. In spite of all of the drama we've had on this ride, that's probably the most smooth parking experience we've had to date. So, some improvements. So you can hear the engine creaking there. Something needs looking into after the incident. Okay. Let's bring our in. Well, what a journey. Thank you so much for joining us. Ready to detach the wagon and see the damage. I'm afraid it's not going to be an excellent drive this time. Indeed, we were late. Late by some way. We had a damage penalty and a late penalty attached to that, so not fantastic, but I think lots of learnings, lots of things to discuss in upcoming episodes and planning the routes. So thank you so much for joining us in this episode and hanging in there as we made our way to Nuremberg into nightfall. Lots of things to explore moving forward, and we'll be back to you soon with a new episode. If you've enjoyed this, please do like and subscribe to be in the know when the next episode comes out in the next few days. And I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who has so far liked and subscribed and commented on the videos. It's an absolute pleasure to produce these, and thanks so much for joining us for the ride. Until then, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.